I find myself in this sort of halfway mark of Lent, thinking a lot about how I was raised and the opportunities I got to engage in as a scout and with my family, and the traveling I've gotten to do, and never really been out of the country, but I have seen a great deal of the country, or lived in a great deal of the country, at least in the South, in Texas, in Oklahoma. And I've been thinking a lot about how that has migrated into the person I am today. I mean, you take this kayak, for instance. I can remember growing up as a kid, my father making a canoe out of fiberglass, and I swear it was one by material. I guess he saw it in Popular Mechanics or something like that, and he wanted to make it, so he made it in our living room, much to my mother's chagrin. And it took a lot of man hours, and when it was finally done, we went out to the lake. I think it was in Dallas. It was a man-made lake. It was the most unstable thing in the world. I think we went out maybe once, twice, and then my mother said never again. My father is a lot of things, but he's not a boat builder. But soon after that, we found some. He found some fiberglass canoes that were actually used for signage. They had put holes in them to hang them up on a sign 20 or 30 feet up in the air, and they were wanting to get rid of them, or else redo their sign, or going out of business, and so they were selling them really cheap, and my father bought them, and we patched them up. They were ugly as sin, and they were heavy, but they were long. Still have one of them today. Actually, still have both of them today. I've got one at my house, and but we enjoyed those canoes like nobody's business, and I just have always loved paddling, going out and either paddling a kayak like this one, or a canoe, and just going out. I really love river kayaking or river paddling. But I like going out on the lake too, and just exploring the lake. It appeals to me. It's something I grew up with. It reminds me, and I've always been very comfortable in a canoe or a kayak, and I've never had any trouble picking up on the nuances of how to make one go straight, or how to turn one, or anything. And a lot of that's because I grew up in them. The thing is that all these experiences that we have in our life, all of these opportunities that we have in our life, they make us who we are in this day. They help us to become that which we need to be. And so I've been thinking during this week of Lent, what experiences do we need to have? What experiences do we need to engage in now and as children that will help us to become the children of God wants us to be? I mean, what do we need to take? What do we need to do to become better Christians, to become so comfortable in our faith that we can engage in it and be a part of it without even really thinking? Sort of how I can get into a kayak or a canoe with an objective to go somewhere, and I can go there and paddle myself there without even thinking about it. I know how to work the paddles, and it's just natural. And I wonder what it is I need to do in my faith walk to make that faith walk as natural as paddling a canoe or a kayak, as doing anything. Just what I'm thinking about right now. Hope you all having a great week. And I hope you're loving that sunshine on that water, because I sure am. Amen.